Hey guys, just posting a video of the questions you submitted yesterday. Some of yours I wasn't able to have access to yet, but as I get access, I will post them and share the link. Sorry if you hear, I'm not using my normal microphone, so if the sound quality isn't good, I'm sorry. Also, you might hear a baby crying because my daughter's home with me today. But I'm going to do the best I can and explain some of these problems you had questions on. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to pick, well, first of all, we're doing 41, 43, and 47 first. When you're doing these, you want to pick a log base. Now, these bases are different. I have a 3 and I have a 4. So I can either use log base 3 or I can use log base 4. I would choose log base 4, and the reason for that is because the exponent is simpler. Okay? So I'm going to do log base 4 on each side. So this side it cancels. The left-hand side it doesn't because these aren't the same. But I can drop my exponent down front now. So I have 1 minus 2x. And then I have log base 4 of 3 equaling x. So I'm going to put log base 4 of 3 into my calculator, which means that I need to do log of 3 divided by log of 4, which gives me 0.792. So 0.792 is what I'm going to use. So then I have 1 minus 2x times 0.792, so this is being multiplied here, equaling x. So then I would distribute this decimal forward. So then I get 0.792 minus 2 times that is 1.585. Then I put 1.585x equals x. Now I need to add this so that my x's are together. And so I get 0.792 equals 2.585x. And I would divide by 2.585. So apparently x is supposed to be 0.306. So 0.306 should be your answer. So next we're going to do 43. So 43 is 3/5 to the x equals 7 to the 1 minus x. So the first thing that I would do is I would change 3/5 to 0.6. So this is 0.6 to the x equals 7 to the 1 minus x. Okay, again, just like 41, we're going to choose the easier exponent to do our log base. So I would do log base 0.6. Log of base 0.6. So this side cancels, so I get x equals, and then again you have to plug this, again this drops down front, so I have 1 minus x times log base 0.6 of 7. I'm going to plug this log base into my calculator, so I get, log of 7 divided by log of negative 0.6 is negative 3.809. So negative 3.809 I forgot what it was. Negative 3. Alright, so then again, this distributes to both of these. So we have x equals negative 3.809 plus, because this was negative, this is negative, 3.809x. So you're going to subtract this from each side. And you get negative 2.809x equals negative 3.809, and you would divide that to get x equals 1.356. Okay, so next we have 47. So it's pi to the 1 minus x equals e to the x. So we have 47, sorry. Pi to the 1 minus x equals e to the x. Okay, so what I would do is I would choose natural log because x is more simple than 1 minus x. So I'm going to do ln, okay? So this side it cancels, this side this drops down, 1 minus x, ln of pi equals x. Now I got to find the ln of pi. So ln of pi is 1.145. I have 1 minus x times 1.415 equals x, so that distributes 1.415 minus 1.415, x equals x. I'm going to add that to each side. So I get 1.415 equals 2.415x, and then divide that to find x equals plug that in wrong. So 1.145 divided by 2.145 is 0.534. 0.534. So when I wrote this down, I messed this up. So it should have been 1.145. Sorry. This is why I need you guys in class to correct it before I get too far. So then 1.145 equals 2.145x, and then you would divide by 2.145. There we go. Sorry about that. So I switched the 4 and the 1 around. So I had to fix that before moving on. So that would be your answer, 47. Okay. Next, this is 123. I'm not sure what the original problem states, but all the work here is correct. Okay. You get 2 equals 5e to the negative 0.4h. You would divide each side by 5, which is where this 0.4 came from. So I would divide by 5. Okay. Then you have e to the negative 0.4h. You would natural log each side then. So this side cancels, which is where you get the negative 0.92 equals negative 0.4h. And you would divide by negative 0.4 to get 2.29 is h. Okay, for 120 here, A is correct. So what this talks about is, I think it's 50% or something. What would happen if 50% is left? So you plug in 50 and you plug in 100 because these are out of percents. You divide by 100, you get 0.5 equals e to the negative 0.35n. You would natural log each side to get rid of your e, which gets you negative 0.69 equals negative 0.35h, and then you divide by negative 0.35 to get n is 1.98 days. B is the one I really want to talk about. So this talks about being 10%, which means instead of 0.1 going in here, it should have been a 10, because it's 10% of 100. Okay, So then you would divide by 100. This number is 0.1. You would natural log each side. The natural log of 0.1 is negative 2.302. So this should be negative 2.302. And then you would divide by the negative 0.35, negative 6.579 as our actual answer. So this answer is wrong because, again, you have to plug in 10 instead of 0.1. Okay. The last one I was asked to do is 125. Okay. So it gives us this equation, and it gives us some numbers that we already know. We know E is 12, so we're going to plug 12 in here. R is 10, so we're going to plug 10 in here. Again, R is 10, and then L is 5. Okay. How long does it take to obtain a current of 0.5 ampere? Okay. Now, you read above, the current I, okay, is where that 0.5 goes in. Okay. So 0.5 is going to go in here for I. And then I have an equation where I'm trying to solve for T. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of plugging 0.5 in, I'm going to plug in 1. Graph the equation, don't really care about that. Okay. So let's start with the 0.5 one. So I have 0.5 equals 12 divided by 10, bracket 1 minus E. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I'm going to change that to negative 2 right away, T, like so. Okay, so I just simplified the 10 divided by 5 in the exponent of the fraction. Okay, I'm also going to change 12 divided by 10 to 1.2. Okay, so I have 0.5 equals 1.2, 1 minus E to the negative 2T. Okay, so I would distribute. So I have 0.5 equals 1.2 minus 1.2 E to the negative 2T. I would subtract 1.2 from each side, which is negative 0.7 equals negative 1.2 E to the negative 2T. I would divide by negative 1.2. Which gets me 0.583. I knew these would cancel, so that's why I just did positive. So 0.583 repeating equals E to the negative 2T. I'm going to natural log each side. Okay, this side cancels. So the natural log of the number I just got, always try to use answer if you can, is negative 0.583. Negative 0.539. So negative 0.539 equals negative 2T. So I would divide by negative 2 to get T. Where'd it go? Sorry. T equals 0.269. Okay, so that's your answer to the first part of 0.5. So then you have to solve it for 1. Now, a lot of people think, oh, it's just going to double. But let's check that because it might not. So I'm going to do 1.0 equals, and then this side is all the same. So I'm going to do the 1.2 parenthesis 1 minus E to the negative 2T. So I would divide by 1.2. Okay. 1.0 divided by 1.2. Is 0.83 repeating. Equals 1 minus E to the negative 2T. So actually, I guess I'm solving this differently. You don't actually have to distribute here because this is multiplication. We can do the opposite of that The opposite of multiplication is division, and it cancels each other out. So sorry about that. I'm doing it a bit differently than I did the last one. So then I would subtract 1 from each side. I get negative 0.16 repeating equals negative e to the negative 2t. Okay, I would divide each side by negative 1. Which gives me 0.16 repeating equals e to the negative 2t. I would natural log each side. The natural log of that I forgot to divide by negative 1. Alright, so I have natural log of 0.1, and we just have a bunch of 6's, which is this number. So I have negative 1.791, I think it was. 92 it should be. Equals negative 2t. Divide by negative 2, and we'll finally have the answer we're looking for. Which is 0.896. So this equals 0.896. So notice that even though we doubled that side, it didn't double our answer. Okay, it multiplied it almost by 4. So those were all the ones I got. And I will again post more as I get access to the last couple. If you have a question and it wasn't answered, make sure that you post that online.